those who are watching at home.
In John 1, verse 6 and 7, it says, "There was a man sent from God whose name was John." That refers to John, not the writer of the book, but rather John the Baptist. In the next verse it says, "The same came forward, witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe." As found in the points of interpretation, him referred to John.
So John chapter 1, verses 6 and 7, there was a man sent from God whose name was John. And then in verse 7, it says, "The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe." And so if the question is, all men through who might believe, according to verse 7 of John chapter, according to verse, or just according to John chapter 1. If they say, all men through who, according to chapter 1, you can't just say, through him. There's more information that better clarifies that him in that chapter. You've got to tell me who the him is. Okay? So you've got to go back and tell me that him referring to John. And so, as a quizzer, a lot of the times, if I'm staring at you, it's because I need you to clarify a pronoun. And so, if you're getting that blank stare, go back through your mind, through the verse, and find all the hims and hers and theys and his, and then ask yourself, wait a second, I've got to identify each one of those. That tells me as a quiz master that you understand what you're saying. In senior quizzing, it's a lot more about meaning and essence and understanding. I just don't want to know that you can quote it word for word. I want to know that you know what you're saying. Okay, so that's why we have quizzers identify pronouns. Now, we've gone over a lot of information. We've talked about a lot of things, procedures, rules, how to use point of orders, contest, timeouts. What questions can you think for me about how it works, procedural things, and for those who are watching online, you can contact us at seniorbiblequizzing.com through the contact page. You can also email me at JAY2LYTLE@gmail.com if you should have any questions. And also our national quiz coordinator and quiz master, Brother Nathan Reaver, Brother Russ Fulbear, as well as our promotions director, Brother Ryan O'Neill, are very reachable, so you can contact them by email if you have questions for them. But what questions can we think of here about how things work, what to do in a certain scenario? Yes?
So when we were practicing with our kids last year, and there would be like 1-part, 2-part, 3-part questions, our kids would sometimes quote the verse to us as opposed to saying, like the exact answers.
Yes.
How does that work?
That's a great question. So, if it's a 1, 2, or 3-part question, is a quizzer allowed to just quote the whole verse? And the safe answer is no. The quizzer should answer what they were asked. And so, if the question is, who said what? And you just quote the whole verse, if anywhere in there it's confusing as to what they meant, if there's any other who or any other what in that verse, they can be called wrong. Because there's a question in the quizmaster's mind. Did they understand what the question was? And did they understand their answer? And so, in the rule manual, what it tells a quizmaster is it says the quizmaster should not have to pick out the answer from the quizzer. And so if I'm not sure that a quizzer knows what they mean, then they should be called incorrect. And so the best thing to do is to teach your quizzers, listen to what they asked and only give them the information they need. And if they didn't give enough information, they're going to get a blank stare, and they should be instructed, when you get the blank stare, give them some more information. And if all else fails, if they gave the piece that they thought they were supposed to give and they still got the blank stare, and they gave a little more, they still got the blank stare, then tell them go back and quote the whole thing, and then maybe they'll be right. If you just quote the whole thing, probably 6 times out of 10, that'll be correct, because it's not ambiguous, there's no question as to what they meant. But that should be the last resort and not the first option.
So, to go along with that, if there is, like, say, a three-part question, if they answer out of order, but they give all three, is it still wrong?
Another great question. So it's a three-part question. The quizzer answers out of order. What I teach my quizzers is try to answer it in order the first time. That's one of the main reasons why questions are called wrong in seniors. Because the question writer asked them out of order, quizzer just quoted the verse, and I had to pick out what they meant. But if a quizzer does that, if the answer's out of order, teach them to go back and say, my first answer is, my second answer is, my third answer is. Okay, so John 1:1 has three parts to it. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. If they mix all those up and jumble them out of place, even if they quoted all at the beginning, as a quiz master, I'm okay if a quizzer goes back and says, my first answer, and clarifies what they meant. Because all the quiz master wants, we're not trying to catch people with their words and trying to make them computers and robots. We're trying to understand, did you know what I asked you, and did you understand what the verse meant? And if you can tell me my first answer, my second answer, my third answer, then that's good enough for me. Unless you didn't say any incorrect information inside there the first time through. You don't have to do that every time, though. So, on every three-part question, they shouldn't say my first, my second, my third answer. They should just say it right the first time, just say each part. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Say each part right. If there's any question as to what order I meant things, then go back, and your second choice should be going back and saying my first answer, my second answer, my third answer. Okay? What other questions can we think of? All right, and we are always available. Contact me by phone or by email, and those online, contact your district coordinator or our national officials if you should have any questions, and consult your rule manual. We're so glad you came today. Thank you so much for being a part of the annual Ohio Bible Quizzing Workshop, and we look forward to a great 2015.